France has decided that gamers are using too many English words, and it's a threat to the French language, so they're going to be banning gamer speak? I don't really know how to feel about that, you know? I don't really get banning words from another language. I've been saying croissant my entire life, and somehow miraculously I haven't turned French. Either way, I thought it was funny, so I'm gonna make a video about it, so without further ado, let's go. France bans English gaming tech jargon in push to preserve language purity. I think in modern times with the internet and just how interconnected everything is, it's ridiculous to assume that your language is going to stay quote-unquote pure forever just because certain terms are always going to come from different places. I also don't really understand why it's such a horrible thing for there to be like 3 words that French people say that are based on English tech game jargon. They use the example streaming and video game, but it's like, I don't know, those don't really seem like that big of a deal if people say. I also think it's impossible to police people's language. Like what? Okay, you're going to ban and outlaw people saying the word streaming. What are you gonna do? Send the SWAT team over to somebody's house every time they say that they were watching a Twitch streamer? Break down the door! You're not doing enough to preserve the French language! I mean, there are plenty of words in like the average American vernacular that aren't 100% English, and I don't really think it matters that much. Americans really love hamburger. That's a German word. I don't think we are Germany. French officials on Monday continued their century-long battle to preserve the purity of the language, overhauling the rules on using English video game jargon. While some expressions find obvious translation, pro gamer becomes, and I'm not gonna preserve French purity, I'm gonna butcher this, joueur professionnel, baby. Others seem more strained, as streamer is transformed into joueur animatoire indirect, baby. Listen, if you're gonna outlaw a term, then you have to replace it with a term that's as easy, if not easier, to say. I'm sorry, but saying streaming is way easier than whatever the hell they want everybody to say. And I just don't really get why it matters. Like, a Twitch streamer is a streamer on Twitch. Streaming technically could be like going down a small river in an inner tube, but that's not its context on the internet. Could you imagine streaming? It's like, yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the stream. It's just a little river running through the middle of a campsite. I don't know. It's also bizarre that they're taking the time to write laws about this. I don't really know what's going on in France. But I know for a fact that if the United States started making laws about, like, our gamer term, I would be annoyed because we got bigger fish to fry at the moment. Like, is there really nothing else going on in France? The politicians' biggest problem is really whether or not people say pro gamer in streaming. How often are people saying pro gamer on a day-to-day basis? Is France just way more of a gamer culture? As you all know, people are always talking about pro gaming and streaming in the middle of French government meetings about the budget. Everyone's always breaking out, who is your favorite streamer? Like, really? Do you need to write a law about this? How often are people actually using these words on a day-to-day basis? I also feel like, if anything, once you start to outlaw a word, it's gonna have the opposite effect. Like, if tomorrow the government came out and said, okay guys, enough is enough, no more saying croissant, from henceforth it will be known as a crescent bagel. I'm still saying croissant. If anything, it's even funnier to say croissant. The culture ministry, which was involved in the process, told the AFP the video game sector was rife with anglicisms that could act as a barrier to understanding for non-gamers. France regularly issues dire warnings of debasement of its language from across the channel, or more recently, the Atlantic. Ah, yes, cultural ministry. We wouldn't want the average French citizen to be isolated from understanding all the tech jargon. It increases the barrier of understanding. We all know that 75-year-olds would definitely be able to understand esports in Twitch streaming if we just change the words around a little bit. That's the barrier to entry. I feel like if you've grown up on the internet and it's something you've always been around, then these words would be just kind of familiar to you. I don't necessarily know that it increases the barrier of entry for the rest of French society. And even if it does, like, does it really matter? Like, does it really matter if the average soccer mom in France can't understand Fortnite as well? I don't think that most adults in America are having a great job understanding gaming or computers anyways. My dad recently had to do some, like, IT IT help for his company, and he was telling me about this dude who was confused as to where the on button was. Like, I don't think the terminology has a whole lot to do with older generations not understanding the internet and gamer culture. And it's cringe to call it that. I don't think gamer culture is some huge defining thing. Like, yeah, okay, people that play video games can kind of relate on certain stuff and make jokes, but I wouldn't say that it's some, oh, my culture. Like, I don't know. I think that's a little bit far. If you were like, oh, I identify with the culture of Legend of Zelda, I would think you're a big nerd. Centuries-old language watchdog, Académie Française. I'm butchering it, baby. Warned in February that a degradation that must not be seen as inevitable. It highlighted terms that include the train operator SNCF's brand Ouigo, pronounced Ouigo, along with the straightforward imports such as big data and drive-in. I mean, I just don't understand their argument. The French culture is gonna be destroyed because people say Ouigo, streaming, big data, and drive-in. Whatever, I guess they could just say the words drive and in French, but I'm just not understanding how it's gonna lead to their culture being destroyed. Like, I don't get it, especially to go so far as to try to ban words from official use. From henceforth, the president of France, the leader of parliament, whatever they've got going on over there, I'm not too sure, will never be allowed to refer to a drive-in theater as a drive-in theater. He now has to use the term croissant theater from henceforth, and if he does use any term that has any English words in it, he will be taken out of the presidency immediately. It's an official rule. If you ever speak any other language as the president of France, you immediately have to renounce your presidency and take 16 spankings by the lead of the culture minister on national television, and he will use a very, very big paddle. And if you disagree with this, then you're basically just threatening the entire culture of France, all right? So, be careful. Could you imagine, like, a French streamer is streaming and he says something about how, like, oh, I love being a Twitch streamer, and then cops kick in the door, the entire chat, oh, did he get swatted? All the French people, no, he didn't get swatted, he just said something in English. That's not allowed. He said the word stream. Oh, I don't like all these big data companies. The French special forces come and abduct you. Good luck enforcing this one, guys, seriously. It's always super easy to know what all the strangers in a country are saying. And I know they're not actually gonna send the cops. I'm just being an idiot and making a joke out of it. But they did make an official rule saying that the government could no longer use the words. Monday, changes were issued in the official journal, making it binding on government workers. Among several terms to be given, French official alternatives were cloud gaming, which became jeux vidéo and nuage, and esports, which will now be translated as jeux vidéo de competition. Yep, so much easier to say than esport. The ministry said experts had searched video game websites and magazines to see if French terms already existed, and the overall idea, said the ministry, was to allow the population to communicate more easily. All the French boomers, you know, their son's like a professional video game player. Kenny S., the CSGO player from France, is talking to his grandparents. He says, I'm a pro gamer who plays esports. Whoa, 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 what did you just say? I can't even understand you. Oh, let me rephrase it. J'ai video game de competition la player de la croissant. Oh, yes, why didn't you just say so? Now I completely understand it. I'm 95, but I completely understand professional video gaming and esports just because you said it in the new term. Like, I think these terms would be confusing enough to people who don't understand them regardless. And I just feel like there's gotta be more pressing issues to be taken care of than wondering what all the gamers refer to their gaming as. Cloud gaming, is that really a super popular thing in France? I know cloud gaming kinda flopped in the States. I don't know, maybe it's huge over there. Maybe all the French people are like, nah, we don't really feel like doing the whole normal gaming thing if we could do it on the cloud. All of France is in the cloud. It actually doesn't exist. It's the first country to ever exist 100% digitally. It's on the blockchain. You can buy the NFT of France, but just don't talk about it in any capacity revolving esports. Otherwise, they'll reject the bid offer. Anyways, I just thought this entire story was really, really funny, so I wanted to share it with y'all. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate you guys taking a second to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. I post 2 videos every day, so if you like content like this, just talking about stupid news and whatnot, subscribe so you never miss out on another video. And yeah, on that note, guys, that'll really do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.